For 30 years, NASA's imagery has been lying to you. Neptune isn't the vibrant deep blue you've been led to believe. The reality is far more ghostly. A pale, sickly cyan of an entity drifting on the ragged edge of darkness. But that isn't the most chilling part. The latest data from Hubble reveals that the clouds on this planet are vanishing entirely. A world 4 times the size of Earth is suddenly, mysteriously, going bald. Why have the 2,100 kilometers per hour supersonic winds fallen silent? Or is this the prelude to a cycle of destruction unlike anything we have ever witnessed? How can a planet in the coldest reaches of the solar system, receiving the least solar energy, radiate twice the heat it absorbs? By all laws of nature, it should be frozen in static silence. Instead, Neptune is a natural nuclear reactor, collapsing under its own weight. Where does that energy come from? Is it the friction of diamond rain releasing gargantuan heat as it plummets toward the core? Or a mathematical secret that allowed us to find this world before we ever laid eyes on it? Right now, we step into this mathematical ghost to decode the most ruthless entity in the cosmos. To understand why Neptune is the most ruthless entity, we must start with how it first invaded human consciousness. It didn't emerge through a chance lens. It was dragged into the light by the sheer pressure of numbers. In the 19th century, the solar system was Newton's perfect symphony, except for one discordant note: Uranus. The planet moved like a haunted thing. Its orbit constantly tugged, slowed, and accelerated against all logic. Rather than doubting the laws of gravity, mathematician Urbain Le Verrier proposed a radical hypothesis. A gargantuan ghost was lurking in the shadows, using its gravitational hand to mold the path of Uranus. Le Verrier didn't need a telescope. He used a pencil and differential calculus to sketch the portrait of a culprit. In 1846, when Berlin astronomers pointed their lenses exactly where Le Verrier commanded, they found Neptune, less than 1 degree from his prediction. It was the first time physics proved, in the cosmos, the darkness is never empty. It hides entities that can manipulate entire systems from afar without ever showing their face. But once found, we continue to be deceived by our own eyes. For 30 years, the image of a deep azure jewel was seared into the human mind. However, a 2024 breakthrough from Oxford University stripped away the mask. Neptune is actually pale blue, a ghostly, frigid hue almost identical to Uranus. This deception began with Voyager 2 in 1989. At a distance where sunlight is 900 times weaker than on Earth, the cameras of that era struggled. NASA engineers manually boosted contrast and saturation to highlight cloud features. Unintentionally, they created a vibrant illusion for a world that is, in reality, pale with frost. Neptune's true color is the shade of a freezing corpse, a testament that at the edge of the system, light is a fading luxury. That paleness does not mean stillness. On the contrary, Neptune's true face is undergoing a cataclysmic shift, the total disappearance of its clouds. Hubble data records that since 2019, cloud cover has plummeted from 38% to nearly zero. A world 4 times the size of Earth has suddenly gone bald. The logic is ruthless. Despite being 4.5 billion kilometers away, Neptune's atmosphere is more sensitive to the Sun's 11-year cycle than anywhere else. When UV radiation peaks, photochemical reactions ignite to form clouds. When it fades, this protective veil evaporates into the void. The disappearance of clouds isn't a sign of peace. It's the exposure of a reactor momentarily idling, accumulating energy. Why does an entity receiving so little external energy react so sharply? The answer doesn't lie in the dim sunlight, but in the terrifying heat of its own core. Energy waiting to erupt into the supersonic storms we are about to witness. In the vast darkness of the solar system's outer rim, a planetary tragedy is unfolding. If the previous chapter was about how Neptune survives, this is about how it consumes. The greatest victim, and the one serving the most tragic death sentence, is Triton. Triton is not Neptune's natural child. Orbital evidence points to a violent abduction in the distant past. While every other major moon in the solar system orbits in harmony with its parent planet, Triton is the lone renegade moving in a retrograde orbit. Astronomers believe that billions of years ago, Triton was an independent sovereign of the Kuiper Belt, an icy king the size of Pluto. But when it strayed into the blue giant's reach, Neptune used its massive gravitational web to snare Triton. This gravitational collision shattered its original path, imprisoning it in an eternal loop. But this imprisonment was never meant for protection. It was a slow-motion execution. Why does a retrograde orbit lead to death? This is where the logic of physics becomes merciless. Because it moves against the grain of Neptune's rotation, Triton is subjected to constant tidal friction. Neptune's gravity acts as a perpetual brake, like a pair of gargantuan hands strangling Triton's velocity. With every orbit, Triton bleeds orbital energy, losing the strength to maintain its distance. It is spiraling into the planet's maw at an irreversible speed. Triton's ultimate destination is the Roche limit. Imagine an invisible boundary surrounding Neptune. Beyond this line, a moon remains whole, held together by its own gravity. But once it crosses the Roche limit, the planet's tidal forces grow stronger than the moon's internal cohesion. Currently, Triton is drifting toward this threshold of death. When it reaches the gates, a horrific transformation will occur. Neptune's gravity will pull on Triton's near side far more violently than its far side. The result won't be an explosion, but a physical dismemberment. Triton's thick, icy crust will crack into millions of shards. Its subsurface oceans of liquid nitrogen and ammonia will be sucked into the vacuum of space before its entire rock and ice structure is pulverized into dust. In that moment, Triton will vanish, replaced by a magnificent but blood-stained ring system encircling Neptune. The faint rings captured by the James Webb Telescope today, those ghostly, fragile wisps of dust, are the remains of the ill-fated moons that preceded Triton. They are the proof that Neptune is a giant that never stops cannibalizing its satellites to maintain its hollow splendor. But before death fully arrives, Triton is putting up a final, desperate resistance: cryovolcanism. Under the crushing squeeze of tidal forces, Triton's interior is white-hot. Geysers of liquid nitrogen and black dust erupt 8 kilometers into space. From a distance, they look like the material screams of a soul being executed. Triton is burning one last time through its own agony before being ground down into jewelry for its captor. This brutality reminds us of one thing. In the cosmos, nothing is eternal. The beauty of the rings is, in truth, the transformation of destruction. We have stripped away NASA's vibrant blue mask to reveal the true face of Neptune, a pale cadaver drifting on the ragged edge of darkness. And through the tragedy of Triton, we understand that this giant isn't just lonely, it is a ruthless predator, using gravitational chains to tear its own moons apart, forging them into spectral rings of dust, jewelry for its own destruction. But stay with me. If Neptune's gravity is powerful enough to snap a moon as massive as Triton, and its winds are violent enough to shred any atmosphere, then where does that energy truly come from? How can a planet 4.5 billion kilometers from the Sun, where light is nothing more than a fading luxury, possess a thermal engine hotter than the surface of its own mother star? The answer doesn't lie in what we see from the outside. It lies deep within a pressure cooker hell, where carbon is crushed into gargantuan diamond rain, and an arrhythmic magnetic heart defies every law of physics known to man. The mysteries will be unveiled in the next chapter, the diamond reactor and the arrhythmic soul. We will expose the most horrific secrets hidden beneath that pale cyan mist. Do not look away from the darkness, for the journey into the heart of Neptune's hell has only just begun.